What's up, YouTube? Today we're going to talk about obesity in reptiles, and it can happen quite a bit in captivity, being, we're the ones feeding them. In the wild, they might have to travel a half mile to find their food, and they might only find one snail a day, whereas we hook them up, adults, every week with nice heaping food, and when they're younger, even more frequent. And that is some of the things you'll have to keep in mind when your blue tongue's growing. It is using a lot more calories, putting that towards growth, but then after that year and a half, they start slowing down significantly, not much growth anymore, and they're putting that reserves to either a female will put that toward babies, but even then they can get too chunky, we'll call it, and that's when you get to the point where you're going more towards obesity, not healthy, a little extra weight. Because a little extra weight in captivity is not a bad thing. You don't want to have it where your animal is skinny starving, because we have the resources in captivity to make sure they're go with perfectly healthy, good all around weight. But once in a while you will have to deviate from that. And so the simplest thing, if you start seeing your 2-year-old animal start getting too big, start getting chunky neck, like kind of jowls underneath, you want to either change your feedings to maybe every 10 days. Some animals are more active than others. Some you could feed every week a nice perfect big helping and they won't gain any weight, they'll stay a perfect weight. And others that may be a little more lazy, couple times a year, maybe I'll have to feed them every other week and they'll still be perfectly fine. Reptiles are a lot different than humans. They, being cold-blooded, they don't need as much resources as we do. So restricting food, or also you could offer more exercise as well. You can take them out to explore. They have things that they make for dogs. They're like outdoor kennels. We'll put a picture up here. They're designed that the dog's nails or the cat's nails won't tear through. So you could use that 6-foot by 4-foot oval. Is a lot more area for them to explore. You could put stuff in there for them to climb. Even though they're not the best climbers, they can climb some, and you can make them work for it. You can even put like little treats in certain spots to make them forage for their food. That way they're still getting their food, but instead of moving the 2 inches from the plate that you normally put it in, they might have to go 12 feet, a lot more work. But it'll also build up a lot more muscle on them that they might not get in the normal captive setting at times. Now we'll go towards more some of the downsides of obesity. And at first you might just see a little chunk under the neck as they're growing, but after a certain point, once they're maxed out, that's when the fat starts building up in places you don't want it. And with reptiles, it's usually around the organs, and once it starts building around the organs, it's going to put more pressure on it. And they can grow out some wider and thicker, like humans in a way. See me, I'm overweight, I got a little bit of belly to me, so there's some room, but at a certain point it's going to start pressing on your heart and your other things and make it harder to do stuff, and that will shorten the life of your animal, sometimes to the point it could get 15 years instead of 30, or if it's too severe, it could be 5 years instead of 30. And that's a lot shorter time frame you can enjoy with your animal. I've seen some pictures over the years, and I'll try to find some of we'll call it the inside, where you can see the fats building up around the animal, and it will give you an idea of the severity it can cause as they get older, the extra fat on them. The hard part too, there's no perfect weight for the animals. Some animals can be 1,000 grams, 24 inches, built perfect, where some animals will max out at 18 inches. So that 1,000 grams, they're kind of on the thick side, and that's when you got to start thinking about maybe cutting back a little bit or add a little more exercise. It can be hard to find the perfect medium, and that's where you just got to work through it. If you happen to start seeing them going one way, add more food if you think they're getting too skinny, and then subtract it when they're getting too big, and they'll have a longer, healthy life. You want to enjoy these species. Reptiles in general are at higher risk for obesity, but if you think ahead and plan ahead and adjust accordingly, your reptile can live a long, healthy life. I hope this was helpful, just something to think about throughout your years of keeping. No one's perfect, just adjust as you go. Thanks for stopping by. Please like and subscribe.